Imagine this, it's 2018 and the US and China are playing a high-stakes game of economic tug-of-war. The US pulls hard, imposing tariffs on hundreds of billions of dollars worth of Chinese goods, aiming to reduce the trade deficit and curb alleged intellectual property theft. China, not one to back down, retaliates with its own tariffs on US products. The world watches as the two giants engage in a battle of economic wits. Fast forward to 2025, and the scene is set for a new chapter in this rivalry. In June 2025, China's exports rose by 5.8% year-on-year, driven by a rush of US orders ahead of an August tariff deadline. However, exports to the US fell 16.1% compared to the previous year, highlighting the ongoing trade tensions. Economic showdown. Let's dig deeper into the numbers game. In 2024, the US trade deficit with China hit an astonishing $295 billion. That's right, $295 billion. It's the largest trade deficit the US has with any country, which could fill your mind with all sorts of images of dollars flying out the window. But don't be fooled by the sheer scale of the deficit. Despite this gap, China remains a crucial trading partner for the US, with exports to China exceeding $195 billion in 2024 alone. So what's the strategy behind this economic tug-of-war? It's not just about the numbers, it's about navigating the complexities of global trade. China has been working to diversify its trade partners and reduce its reliance on the US market. One example, in June 2025, China saw its exports to Southeast Asia soar by 16.8%. It's like a strategic chess move. If one partner, the US, is playing hardball with tariffs, China will pivot to other regions to keep its economic machine running smoothly. So the trade war may seem one-sided at times, but China's adaptability is one of its strongest weapons. From trade wars to sky wars. Now that we've looked at the economic battlefield, let's pivot to another arena where the US and China are locking horns. Military might. The Pentagon's 2024 report is like a wake-up call for anyone underestimating China's rising military capabilities. The report highlights China's rapid advancements in nuclear power, artificial intelligence, and aerospace technologies. China's military modernization has the US sitting up and paying attention, with its strategy of building a military force that's not only capable of defending, but dominating in the 21st century. In response, the US is ramping up its defense capabilities. The US Army, for example, is heavily investing in autonomous systems, artificial intelligence, and uncrewed platforms. These aren't just futuristic concepts anymore. They are becoming essential tools for maintaining military superiority. One glaring example of this technological arms race is the Next Generation Air Dominance program. The NGAD initiative is developing a family of next-generation combat systems, combining both manned and unmanned aircraft to ensure the US maintains air superiority. This effort isn't just about military strength, it's a demonstration of technological prowess. And as we know, whoever dominates the skies typically has the upper hand in any major conflict. But don't get it twisted, China isn't just sitting back. The Chinese government has placed immense focus on expanding its air force and investing in advanced fighter jets. Enter the J-20 and J-31, two of China's pride and joy in the aviation world. These stealth fighters are quickly catching up with US counterparts like the F-35. And China is also aggressively pursuing unmanned aerial vehicles. The fight for aerial superiority is now more intense than ever, and the line between defense and offense is blurring at an alarming rate. Aviation arms race. So how does all this tie into the aviation sector? Well, the aerial battlefield is where things get particularly thrilling. The US-China rivalry is reaching new heights, literally in the race for air dominance. Both nations are investing heavily in advanced aircraft technologies. The NGAD program, for instance, is the US's response to China's growing aviation capabilities. The program is designed to create a family of next-gen combat systems that will integrate manned and unmanned systems, ensuring that the US can outpace any adversary in the skies. China, not one to back down, is charging ahead with the J-20 stealth fighter, a game changer in air combat. This aircraft is a direct challenger to the US F-22, designed for long-range strike missions, and it boasts impressive stealth and maneuverability. But China is also looking beyond traditional fighter jets. The rapid development of UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles, is where China is making significant strides. The goal? Dominate both the skies and cyberspace with autonomous machines that are faster, cheaper, and harder to track. This isn't just about building cool-looking fighter jets and drones. It's about controlling the narrative of aerial warfare. Whether it's through cutting-edge aviation tech or AI-driven military strategies, both China and the US know that air superiority will be a pivotal factor in shaping the future of military dominance. Flashpoint, Taiwan. While the trade and military rivalry between the US and China is intense, one geographical flashpoint makes everything even more explosive: Taiwan. Taiwan has long been a thorn in the side of China, and its geopolitical importance cannot be overstated. China views Taiwan as a breakaway province and has been clear in its intentions to reunify it with the mainland, by force if necessary. In 2024, things got particularly heated when China conducted 2 major rounds of military drills around Taiwan. Joint Sword 2024, which saw Chinese forces performing land, sea, air, and rocket exercises. These drills were a clear demonstration of China's growing military capabilities, flexing its muscles and asserting its claims over the island. While the US wasn't directly involved in these drills, it certainly took notice. The US has historically been a key supporter of Taiwan, pledging to help defend the island should China escalate its threats. The US military response has been mostly diplomatic, focusing on bolstering Taiwan's defenses through arms sales and military cooperation. However, the situation remains fragile. Taiwan is the critical juncture where economic interests, military strategies, and international diplomacy collide. The proximity of China to Taiwan, coupled with its military buildup, raises the stakes even higher. It's a ticking time bomb that could trigger a broader regional conflict if tensions continue to escalate. The bigger picture. The rivalry between the US and China is not just about trade deficits and military drills, it's about global influence. China is actively seeking to expand its influence through initiatives like the Belt and Road Initiative, investing in infrastructure projects across Asia, Africa, and Europe. These efforts are aimed at strengthening economic ties and increasing China's geopolitical clout. The US, on the other hand, is focusing on strengthening alliances and partnerships, particularly in the Indo-Pacific region, to counter China's growing influence. This strategic competition is reshaping global alliances and influencing international policies. Behind the headlines of trade wars and military drills are the people affected by these tensions. Workers in both countries face uncertainty as industries adjust to shifting trade policies. Families in Taiwan live under the constant threat of potential conflict. Students and academics navigate the complexities of international collaborations amidst growing scrutiny. It's easy to get lost in the numbers and strategies, but at the heart of this rivalry are real people whose lives are impacted by the decisions made in boardrooms and government offices thousands of miles away. The road ahead. The US-China rivalry is multifaceted, encompassing economic, military, and geopolitical dimensions. As both nations continue to assert their interests, the path forward remains uncertain. Will they find a way to coexist peacefully, or are we headed toward a new Cold War? Only time will tell. In the meantime, the world watches closely, hoping for dialogue over discord, cooperation over confrontation. After all, in the grand scheme of things, isn't it better to have a world where nations compete in innovation and collaboration rather than in conflict? What do you think? Is the US-China rivalry a necessary competition for global leadership, or is it a dangerous path toward conflict? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth analyses on global affairs.